Purdy steps through, floats it, he's picked, and that's it.
Oh, God, all the bad teams are good.
On getting some of these though.
Football does not make sense. All the bad teams not named the Cardinals win this week. Teams we thought were good lose. The Lions, the Bills, the Dolphins. Nobody knows how the Steelers or Browns keep winning, but they do. I'm Brandon Perna. I'm pretty sure that's my name, and I have the real winners and losers for week 7. And you're gonna be surprised by almost all of them. But first, it's my Blop 10 plays. The kids keep begging for the Blop 10. It's taking the world by storm. Featured on Paw Patrol recently. The kids can't get enough of the Blop 10. Starting at 10, back on Thursday, the island of Dr. Foster Moreau dropped one of the easiest touchdowns you will see. But his response in the locker room after is what I respected the hell out of.
I'll keep it short. I don't know if anyone within 200 miles of this place wants to hear my voice right now. But these guys are fighters, man. They're resilient.
He was crushed. He'll bounce back, and to make you feel better, Foster, here's Tyreek Hill dropping an easy TD as well. Number 9, this hit by Devin Witherspoon was old-fashioned football. Obviously, if Kareem Jackson did this, he would have been court-martialed. But I can still appreciate a cornerback laying the wood. Number 8, Amon Ra. St. Brown making bets away from the team facility.
Come on, hurry up. Yeah, so we don't do bets in this facility. We made an agreement, and it was outside the facility, so.
Honestly, the Lions were better when they were betting on the games. Number 7, DJ Humphries. He got ejected for accidentally hitting the official here. I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna give DJ a free bag of my fuck the refs blend. No, I never condone any sort of violence, especially when that violence takes place on a disadvantaged group like officials. They are, after all, blind, and I do not support taking cheap shots on blind folks. That is wrong, DJ. Number 6, Jake Bobo has officially proved that 40 times do not mean anything. All that matters is those 2 feet in the end zone. Bobo might be the best rookie wide receiver on a team that includes Jackson Smith-Njigba, the 20th overall pick. Number 5, Jalen Carter flopping and drawing the flag because of the flop. And when asked about it after the game, Carter said, "I just thought to myself, what would LeBron do?" Well, the answer is he would have joined Miami at halftime. Number 4, Ronnie Stanley nearly took this block all the way to the locker room. I do want to see that cameraman's angle of the play. Unfortunately, you might have to find that on Live Leak. Number 3, Myles Garrett. Garrett gets the spot 3 for his 3 plays he made. He does the leap over the line, doesn't touch anyone, and blocks the kick. That's just a badass play. It's as badass a play as you can make. He also had 2 sacks, giving him 82, surpassing Reggie White, who had 80 by the time he turned 28. Garrett turns 28 this season, making this the dumbest way to track sacks and birthdays that I have ever seen. Call me when he breaks Reggie White's 198 sack rec. 28, who gives a shit? Number 2, Jonathan Allen.
I'm fucking tired of this shit. Fucking tired of this bullshit. It's been 7 fucking years of the same shit. Tired of this shit.
So you're saying you don't like losing? Sorry, John. Number 1, Kyle Pitts with this ridiculous, absurd, ludicrous, preposterous, electric, sensational, awe-inspiring, regular, inspiring, mind-bending catch behind his back. Is Desmond Ridder throwing bad passes so he can make his receivers look really, really good? And the Blop 0? Oh, Kayvon Thibodeau dropping an easy pick 6. That one also for you, Foster. It happens. It happens. That's right, today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy, and this week they are matching your first deposit up to $500, which is an exclusive offer for new customers. All you have to do is sign up at Underdog with my link below or code THATSGOOD. Make your first deposit. The NBA is back, which means they have a tip-off special, a half point for LeBron and the Lakers. Underdog? Why are you two dissing my Nuggets? This should be a Jokic special. Regardless, we're in that amazing window where we have baseball, football, basketball, and hockey to build out pick'ems. And the pick'em games are now live in all of these yellow states, and with 5-player pick'em entries, you can 20x your money. Again, link below, code THATSGOOD, sign up now at Underdog. And no, thanks to those Purdy picks, I still haven't hit on one of my pick'ems. All right, my first winner, Alvin Kamara, getting 29 total touches in what had to be an infuriating loss to the Jaguars on Thursday Night Football. Kamara was the Kirk Cousins of running backs in this game. Trevor Lawrence somehow led the Jaguars in rushing yards with a sprained knee. Travis Etienne scored a couple touchdowns early, and Jacksonville slowly let the Saints get back into this. But Derek Carr could have had 400 passing yards had he tried to throw the ball to where his ball catchers actually were, instead of where he stubbornly thought they should be. There were about 50 shots of Carr being pissed off in this game. Considering this was Carr after losing to the Colts last year, I'd suggest Carr try sassiness, because anger and sadness are clearly not working.
Sorry for being emotional. I'm just pissed off.
Winners, the Arizona Cardinals. In Fantasy Jim, Josh Dobbs, who did it again with his legs. I know, they lost and fell to 1-6. But they were the only 1-5 team who wasn't dumb enough to win this week and cost themselves a shot at that next great draft prospect. Plus, the Panthers were on a bye, so they couldn't really lose. The only team that is capable of losing on the bye is the Chargers. Winning virgins? The Giants, who got their first October TD, their first home game touchdown, and their first half touchdown of the year.
It's in. Oh my God, it's in.
And they did it all without their franchise quarterback. That's enough firsts to qualify as first-grade teachers, I think. But this game featured my winning stat of the week, brought to you by NBA Hall of Famer and Commanders part owner Magic Johnson. He tweeted, "It's hard to win in the NFL when you only score 7 points." I agree, Magic. And this is the straightforward analysis that I can get behind. All those PFF and athletic nerds can tweet about DVOA, pass rush win rate, and how pube length affects your 40 time. But at the end of the day, Magic knows that scoring more points than the other team is the best way to win a game. Also, the Commanders gave up 6 sacks to go to 40 on the season, so they're on pace to still break that record of 76 all-time set by the 0-2 expansion Texans. Losers, and it's a big one, Colts fans having to watch the refs rip victory from them. Browns versus Colts was the game of the week. In fact, I'm giving my weekly Kirk Cousins award to Gardner Minshew II. This one is a layup, runaway victory for the QB who, no matter what he did, his team lost. Now, once again, I must note that there is no Gardner Minshew I. His dad just decided to name him the second. We do not talk about that enough. No one is going to talk about Minshew's 305 passing yards on just 23 attempts, his 2 touchdown passes, or his 2 rushing TDs. And these were not tush-push touchdowns. Minshew was busting his ass on the way to the end zone against the best defense in the league. Mania was back. Minshew is developing a nice connection with rookie wideout Josh Downs, who had 125. I'd say his stock is going Josh ups. The game was exciting from the first play when Jerome Ford gashed the Colts for a pleasant, nice 69-yard TD. Deshaun Watson's best play is literally escaping pressure and then immediately making the worst throw possible and also getting hurt. That's his best play. He left the game, so we had a score fest with backup Minshew, backup PJ Walker, backup Jerome Ford, and Jim Irsay, who should be a backup owner, if we're honest. Into the Colts Browns game. What happened here? Why did they get robbed? Well, Minshew and Pittman hook up for a 75-yard touchdown with 5.5 minutes left to take a 38-33 lead. Then Indy gets a edge stop, but their defense stalls. PJ Walker makes my winning throw on 3rd and 10. He hits Elijah Moore, another first to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then it happened. Indy strip sacks Walker to end the game. Game over. Wrong. Because the refs flag the Colts for illegal contact. First of all, it is a bad call. Darrell Baker is slipping and Cooper kind of shoves him down and gets wide open. If anything, this helps Cooper. Second, EJ Speed blows up the play with the sack. The alleged penalty had no effect on the play. More importantly, since there was a fumble on the play, that makes illegal contact or DPI nullified. So again, the NFL officiated out. Out of the game, an amazing play. It's one of the worst calls I've seen all season, and then a play later, the refs give Cleveland the ball on the 1 after they called pass interference on this throwaway pass. Unless Donovan Peoples-Jones can magically levitate back in bounds after catching the ball 7 yards out of bounds, that is an uncatchable ball.
There's nobody, not even Calvin Johnson, going to catch that football.
And Indy still put up a fight, forcing the Browns to try several times before finally scoring and winning. My Fuck the Refs blend of coffee at BenchwarmerBrew.com. This week, it is specifically for you, Colts fans. It really is. My losing battle, the Falcons and the goal line. The Falcons on back-to-back plays at the goal line couldn't cross it. Drake London went upside down to trick the goal line into letting him in. It nearly scored, but didn't. Drake fumbling upside down on the inch line is my favorite play. That play was awesome. And now my patience with Desmond Ridder is peaked. Because if your receiver risks his neck to score and then you fumble the ball away on the next play, you're going to need to give him a handwritten apology, a gift basket, and 30 targets in the next game. Later, Desmond Ridder fumbles the ball away at the goal line again. Is there an invisible force field there? Do you need to hand the ball to Younghoe Koo? Because he can get the ball over the goal line with ease. A very underrated Falcons defense kept them in this game as they made Baker Mayfield look like the Baker Mayfield Odell Beckham Jr. lies awake at night having nightmares about. So technically he's sleeping. Kyle Pitts got them into range and Koo blasted a 51-yarder with ease to get the dub. Winning QB, Lamar Jackson, is pretty incredible when he gets actual help from his receivers. Only 6 incompletions all day with 357 yards and 3 touchdowns plus 1 on the ground. Thank you, Lamar. Thank you for having a near-perfect passer rating at 155. Put you over the edge, saving me from having to give this award to Patrick Mahomes. Winning drive, the Ravens' second touchdown. Lamar Jackson simply owned that drive. He had a great throw, got a first down with his legs, escaped a surefire sack by Aiden Hutchinson, bought enough time, 9.2 seconds to be exact, most time to throw a ball since 2018, to find Nelson Aguilar in the back of the end zone who held on. That was vintage Lamar, and 500 yards of offense against the Lions defense is freaking wild. It kind of blows my mind that teams, the Falcons, had a chance to get Lamar Jackson for a pair of first rounders and a new contract and said, nah thanks, we're not even going to look into it. Jackson has truly evolved into an elite passer, picking up just 36 yards on the ground against Detroit, but dominating from the pocket. He hasn't put up mind-boggling stats this season, but he's the reason Baltimore is on top of the AFC North. Losing QB? Well, there's going to be 2. First, Deshaun Watson. If there was a reverse Kirk Cousins award, it would go to Deshaun Watson. When he exited the game, Watson was 1 for 5 with a pick. Should have been 2 picks. Still, somehow the Browns won this game, which will go down in the books as a Deshaun Watson victory. Regardless, the Browns are 4-2 in spite of who their starting quarterback is. The other losing quarterback, Brian Hoyer, 0 touchdown passes, a pick 6, and the worst QB rating of the week before the Raiders put in Aiden O'Connell, who was just as good at throwing to the Bears. Winners, Tyson Bagent and Deontay Foreman. God, I love when a backup QB and a third-string quarterback take over for a losing team and then beat the shit out of the Raiders. Tyson Bagent came in and was incredibly efficient. 21-29, 1 passing touchdown to Deontay Foreman, who came in place of the injured Khalil Herbert and the injured Roshan Johnson and scored 3 total touchdowns, more than Josh Jacobs has all year. Jacobs did assist Brian Hoyer on one of his interceptions, though. Cool that no running back will ever get paid ever again, Josh Jacobs. Winning rookie? Well, after shouting out Bagent and Jake Bobo, I want to give some credit to Chiefs rookie receiver Rashee Rice, who's gradually becoming the second most trusted target in that offense next to Travis Kelce, who suddenly becomes unguardable, more unguardable than usual. When Taylor Swift is watching him, of course. Rice had 5 grabs for 60 yards and a tutty against the Chargers and leads all Chiefs wideouts with 305 yards this season. God help us all if the Chiefs find any more celebrity girlfriends for their ball catchers. Losing team, the 31 teams that passed on Puka Nacua. Not only did he make an incredible grab on the sideline, the 5th round rookie is now first in NFL receptions, third in receiving yards behind just Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown, and he's so locked in he doesn't know or give a shit about the other teams in his division.
You know, this dude Josh Dobbs studied like actual rocket science.
Who's Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs, the Cardinals quarterback.
Oh.
Winning team? The Steelers. They're somehow 11-4 over their last 15 games following their win on the road in Los Angeles. I really don't know how to explain this team other than TJ Watt might be the best defensive player alive, not named Myles Garrett, and Kenny Pickett turns into a werewolf in the fourth quarter. Pickett went 11 for 12 for 152 yards in the second half. 2 fewer yards than Puka Nacua had in this one. The Steelers are inexplicably 4-2 and just a half game behind the Ravens, a team they inexplicably beat 2 weeks ago. Mike Tomlin might be the most underrated coach in the NFL because I look at this team and I have a tough time comprehending the fact that they're just winning games. Losing team? The Chargers. You know who might have helped you not allow Travis Kelce go off for 12 receptions and 179 yards? Your old linebacker, Drew Tranquill, who instead sacked Justin Herbert in this game, 1 of 5 sacks LA allowed. If the Broncos defense can hold Mahomes to 306 yards and a TD and a pick, how does your talented stacked D give up 424 and 4 TDs? I don't know. Loser, Justin Herbert late in games. Into the third quarter, he had a pass tipped and picked. Not really his fault, but this shit keeps happening. Top of the fourth, he has a pass that should have been picked. Midway through the fourth, he throws a ball right at Willie Gay, which is batted down. All of those when the game was still within reach. No quarterback has more losses or fourth quarter interceptions now than Herbert since he was drafted. Truly carrying the jizz-covered torch for Phillip Rivers. Losers? The 100-yard running back. Only one running back thus far broke 100 rushing yards, and that was Sunday with Kenneth Walker. And he didn't even score a touchdown with those 100 rushing yards. Of course, this is a week without Devin Achane, Breece Hall, or Derrick Henry. But we've also made it 7 weeks with just one 200-yard rushing performance. And yes, if you were wondering, the top 2 individual rushing games by a player were indeed against the Denver Broncos. Denver's defense starting to figure out how to play is the single worst development for running backs since the Le'Veon Bell contract. Winning team? The Patriots, who scored more than 20 points for the first time all season. Mac Jones played 100% mistake-free football. The Bills, you broke my heart. Buffalo, just like the Broncos this week, had an offensive touchdown called back because of a dumb penalty. Buffalo got through an ugly division game, took back the lead late in the fourth, but then they let Bill Belichick get his 300th win as New England drove down the field and ended the game with a touchdown pass. And now I am scared that the Bills do indeed suck. Josh Allen, his first pass in this game was an interception, and apparently he's done that 3 other times. Here's a little unsolicited advice, maybe a strategic advantage for Josh. Just skip to the second throw of the game. Spike the ball on the first time you're going to throw it. Winning player, A.J. Brown had 137 yards against Miami, giving him 5 straight games with over 125. That ties Calvin Johnson for the most consecutive games with over 125 receiving yards. And I hate to do this to you, Tennessee, but A.J. Brown now has 809 yards, which is 20 more than all of the Titans receivers combined. Hell, Darius Slay, after picking Tua at the goal line, may have more receptions than the Titans ball catchers this year. That play and a couple anal hole pushes sealed the game for the Eagles. Tush push, whatever you call it. Getting inside of that butt for first downs. Digging for chocolate gold.
If everybody could do it, everybody would do it.
Losing? Officiating crew? Yeah, another one. I know there are a lot of wrong calls this week. There always kind of are. And the Eagles, they flat out played the Dolphins. This is not an excuse, all right? The Dolphins couldn't keep up with Philly, especially without Xavier Howard. But when I see an officiating crew throw 10 flags on one team, the Dolphins, and 0 on the Eagles, I get angry, and I ask, where the fuck were those officials when the Eagles were playing in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs? Where were you then? Oh, now you're going to let James Bradbury get away with a face mask here? Winners, the NFL sticking to the upset script, and the Vikings upsetting the 49ers on Monday Night Football finally are imitated life, because in the real world, a Viking would fucking annihilate a sad little gold prospector. Loser? George Kittle's penis. He did indeed take one right on the dick, and the fact that George Kittle then quit football right then and there makes me think this man deserves the Medal of Honor. Winners, Kirk Cousins and rookie receiver Jordan Addison. Whenever the Vikings draft a receiver, just pay attention. Remember, Addison was the 4th receiver taken in this draft, after JSN, after Quentin Johnson, and after Zay Flowers, who all went in a row ahead of him. 7 grabs, 123 yards, 2 TDs, and this absolutely ridiculous touchdown catch that almost everyone thought was an interception. It was not a good throw by Cousins, basically his only bad one all night, and it turned into a TD. Big Kirko diced up the 49ers defense with the 2nd most passing yards this week at 378. And oddly, people on Twitter, people who watch a lot of football, were surprised by how well Kirk Cousins played, which is weird to me. Cousins plays a lot of pretty damn good football, and I think too many people believe his early primetime struggles are how he always plays. Minnesota better pay him and Justin Jefferson and see what happens with Jordan Addison in the mix as well. Losers, Brock Purdy stands. Not forever, okay? He's still good, but this week the overrated takes are gonna be plentiful. Purdy threw 2 terrible picks that sealed the fate for the 49ers. And as soon as he learns to identify when a defense only has 8 men on the field, 8 men, then he will be elite. Till then, he's just another Kirk Cousins. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I would try and give you a reason to subscribe, but I literally can't think of any.